A very warm welcome to everyone. In this video, I would like to present to everyone the exciting features of this highly engaging learning platform, Skill2030.com. This is Dr. Abhinav Dayal, CEO and founder of Intelligence Technology Labs and creator of this platform. Skill2030.com brings an advanced communication skills program for engineering and science students, which is actually an industry-first platform to enable AI-based mock interview practice and a complete communication skills training, not only general English but also technical English. The AI engine measures more than 20 plus parameters, measuring your listening, speaking, reading and writing skills as well as comprehension skills and domain knowledge in multiple technical domains. The AI engine measures pronunciation, intonation, fluency, speed, engagement of your speech, etc., along with grammar and also the correctness of descriptive answers. Further, you can measure the domain-specific knowledge in multiple domains as you practice the wonderful content that we have and we are continually developing. You can also see performance over time and you can filter by different traits or skills. One of the very unique features are our Metaverse Master Trainers, which are generated using an AI process and they actually render on the screen rather than playing or recording a video. These offer a beautiful way of engagement to the learner, as if a physical trainer is there in front of them and they can engage with these trainers. Let's explore them.
We offer perhaps the only course in the world that trains in all aspects of communication skills, from the first-year college level all the way to interviews for internships and jobs.
So there are multiple locales. The previous one was a British male. Now let's see an American female.
Perhaps you should learn to speak like world-class scientists and engineers. We will train you.
Practice with us and gain general technical knowledge in all major branches of science and engineering.
Let us boost your value significantly. Practice seriously for 60 hours, and it will make an enormous difference in your entire career. It will make you employable anywhere in the world.
Well, if you practice with us, you will have a higher chance of cracking the job interviews. Both the HR interviews as well as the technical interviews.
Practice with us, and you will become a confident and fluent speaker.
If needed, we can actually create a clone of a physical person, matching both the looks and the voice with customized AI process. So you don't have to bother about recording the videos again and again and trying and editing them. You can just provide the content and your clone will actually present it to the learner. There are several pathways to pick from. For example, you can pick business management, engineering or science, or even job interview skill preparation. And if you are a course creator, you can actually create your own course and invite your set of students, taking advantage of the wonderful engaging platform as well as the AI-based evaluation activities that we offer on this platform. Let's explore one of the pathways, say the engineering student pathway. In each pathway there are multiple courses and each course has multiple lessons in turn. And each lesson would have multiple activities to perform. Let us look into the engineering pathway, for example. There are multiple courses. The first two courses are very general and important for anyone who wants to learn about scientific and technical communications. And if we understand the first year curriculum of any engineering, it's open and one actually studies about almost all the branches little by little. So we have given introduction of all the engineering domains, at least the major ones over here. So let's look at one of them, say chemical engineering. And we look at the lesson. There are multiple lessons from introduction to the basic processes of chemical engineering. So let's go to chemical reactions. And let's look at one of the activities, say chemical kinetics.
We will talk about chemical kinetics. First, learn the important keywords and their correct pronunciations. Pay particular attention to the pronunciations of the word species and equilibrium.
So here you will see we are teaching important keywords. So many times people don't pronounce these keywords properly. So this is where our specific pronunciation engine comes into play. For example, I want to practice chemical processes. So now these bold parts have to be emphasized. So rather than saying chemical, I have to say chemical process. So let's first hear how the tutor will say.
Chemical process.
Now I have to repeat it. Chemical process. So it will evaluate and give me a very good score here because I spoke really well. So if I analyze it, I spoke very good US accent and pretty much made, perfect score over there. Now if I speak it wrongly, say for example I speak chemical process. So now I said che instead of ka, so it is picking up that sound over there. Also, if you notice, there is an underline over double A because I didn't emphasize process so much, I said process. So this shows that you are not your accent, you're not accenting those things in a proper manner. So that score is a little bit low over there as well. So let's look at another word, species.
Species.
Species. So I got a really low score over there. I can see that I said species rather than species, so that is wrong. This is also wrong. So it is able to pick it up completely. Now I'll say it correctly. Species. Right? So I got a pretty good score right now. So it really evaluates, and see, I did not highlight or accent the E part. I said species. Species, right? So I can improve a bit over there. So it's yellow, not red. So a little bit improvement can be made over there. You can even do an advanced analysis of how accurate is each phonetic sound that you are producing. Let's move on to another activity.
Do you know what chemical kinetics is? How is this study useful?
So this is how the virtual trainer is actually trying to engage or give a cue to the learner or raising an interest. So this is up to the content curator, whoever is curating, they can actually plan what cue to give, right? So for example, in this case, one has to actually listen to this definition of chemical kinetics or reaction kinetics and then repeat that. So I'll try that.
Chemical kinetics or reaction kinetics is the study of the rate of a chemical process and its dependence on conditions such as concentrations of reactant species, temperature, pressure, etc. Chemical kinetics is used to determine, for example, how much reaction is complete at a given time, or when the packaged food would expire.
So now there is an attempt part here. I have to actually attempt it as I have listened to it, right? Now if I'm not satisfied with this trainer, I can actually switch to a different locale or different gender. So I can switch to female.
Do you know what chemical kinetics is?
Right? And if I want to, listen to the slow speech, I can click here.
Do you know what chemical kinetics is?
And how slow and fast you can actually determine from here, right? So I'll switch back to...
Do you know what chemical kinetics is?
Now I'll attempt it. Chemical kinetics or reaction kinetics is the study of the rate of a chemical process and its dependence on conditions such as concentrations of reactant species, temperature, pressure, etc. Chemical kinetics is used to determine, for example, how much reaction is complete at a given time or when the packaged food would expire. Then I can listen to what I have spoken. Chemical kinetics or and then if I am satisfied, I can submit it.
Awesome.
Right? So now this uses a different pronunciation engine altogether because here the intent is for the other person to understand what I am saying rather than picking exactly, the phonetic sounds for each word as such, right? So we can further analyze and we can see that I spoke everything correctly. My pronunciation was just like a native speaker. Engagement is pretty good. Fluency was great. Speed is good and intonation was in a reading mode. It's a reading activity, but I can improve in my intonation if I have to. So I can listen to the trainer how they are intonating their voice, and I can imitate that to improve in my intonation. Further, I can actually see certain words which I spoke wrong. So I spoke package.
package,
So it is packaged, not package, right? So I missed that. Pressure,
pressure,
not pressure, right? So it is giving all of those kind of feedbacks to me for me to improve. Let's take a look of a writing activity. Say for example, I'll go to this lesson and look at one of the writing activity which I've already attempted to save time. So I purposely made certain errors, but it picked up all those errors. So it is a grammar and spelling checker. For example, it will tell you like you did a spelling mistake, there should be a capital in the first letter, another spelling mistake, and spelling mistakes. It is picking up and giving me a score. I can attempt it again. It also gives me the rubrics. For example, in this case the rubrics are organization, should be coherent, and so on, right? And I can actually submit it for a peer review because the content setter expected that we should submit for peer review. And if there is a mentor for this course, they can actually grade this attempt for me as well. Let us look at an exciting descriptive activity evaluation in a spoken form. So we'll go to job interview skill training and try to answer an interview question. So we'll go to, say for example, computer science and IT job interview, and we'll pick a lesson, say programming, and let's look at one of these spoken questions.
Have you ever written a computer program?
So in this case I have to answer whether I have ever written a computer program. So it's an interview question, so I have to present myself properly. So let me try to answer that. Well, yes, many. I have been an active coder since my school days. While in school, I learned Pascal, and later in BTech as part of curriculum, I learned C, C++, Python, Java, etc. And on my own, I also picked up other languages like Ruby. I also did a web application using Angular and Django, and also picked up several Python libraries in machine learning like PyTorch and TensorFlow, and developed several machine learning solutions in Kaggle. I also built certain deep learning models as well. All of those are available in Colab and as well as my GitHub repository for you to review. Thank you.
Awesome.
Right, so now I got a very good score. It was a good answer. Let's see what the analysis is. And as per the analysis, correctness is very good, pronunciation is good, it's engaging, fluency is good, speed is good, intonation is, I could have improved in intonation a bit, and then the grammar is also well. I can see some grammar errors what I made, and it is not an error but just something that our machine learning model have to learn and improve, and we are working on constantly improving our engines. So that's spoken auto evaluation. And if I give like some not that good answer, let me try that again. Let me try like, yes, I have coded some programs in C during my curriculum in BTech and also in Java in my third semester. So now I submit that.
Thank you for trying. Please attempt once again.
I got some score, but the correctness is not that well, right? So I should have spoken more about it. It's an interview question and not just a plain question. So other things are okay, but correctness have to improve over here. In fact, there are many activity types in ACSESS. Like we have already seen auto evaluation spoken. You can have a free activity where you can have a written or a spoken response that can be evaluated by peers and mentors. You can have people upload a video where a peer or a mentor can review it. Keywords you have already seen. You can have multiple choice questions, fill up the blanks. You can have questions that can be evaluated automatically or both, a combination of manual and automatic evaluation. Written activities with various settings and parameters. In written you can actually do connect phrases, use words, picture story, and all those kind of things as well. reconstructing a passage, for example reading a passage and then trying to summarize it, reading, listening, repeating a sentence that you have listened to, understanding and summarizing after listening. You can have multiple resources, like you can put a video, image and audio, or anything, even math expressions and everything can go in there, right? We have already seen see, listen, repeat, spoken MCQ, so you can actually have the question being spoken including the choices, and the person has to actually answer by speaking as well. Taking a dictation, like listening and actually writing as one is listening, and listen to some jumbled up sentence and make the final sentence and speaking that out, right? So these are the activities that we have currently, but we are in active development and we are open to support people who want to use this technology and expand it further, so we can add as many different activity types as needed based upon the use case. For example, here this is a course where we are trying to have people apply AI for healthcare as part of pandemic response. So we start with like, what are the initiatives that have happened in AI, how do you want to apply AI, how to think, like some examples are given, scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. This is just a resource, people can read it, and then there are certain video descriptions of how to present and how to demonstrate your idea. And then
now
finally
it is time to present your idea. Maintain eye contact and be very clear and precise. Introduce yourself first, then present the problem, any reference, and then your solution. Finally, its feasibility and challenges. Wish you all the best.
Right, so now the trainer is actually asking you have to actually upload a video and understand these rubrics and then submit for review. A mentor or a peer will review it. Let's look at another wonderful feature, which is an adaptive learning, which we call Smart Learn. So here, instead of going through course, lesson and picking activity by activity, one can actually practice at their own leisure time. So one can pick either as practice or take a test which will be timed, and you won't be able to go back, and you can only skip activities if you want to. So you can actually pick a duration. For example, I can pick I want to practice for 15 minutes, right? What do I want to practice? If I can go by hierarchically pick computer science, inside computer science say pick for example programming, etc. Or if I want to search, I can say I want to practice about Java programming, so I pick Java programming, and I want to practice say interview style questions. There is also a personal question bank which I'll discuss a little later. Click on next and your session is ready, so you can start practicing.
What is JVM, or the role of JVM?
JVM, or Java Virtual Machine, is a software that allows to run any Java program. It makes the Java program portable, so same Java program can run inside JVM installed on different platforms. So I submit that.
Awesome.
It's correct answer, right? And if I did a wrong answer, I can actually see here as practice these are possible answers, and one can reattempt over there, right? So I can go again.
What is an instance variable in Java?
And so on. So there are multiple questions over here you can complete, and you can actually practice, and you can keep practicing again and again. So it will actually adaptively give you questions based upon increasing difficulty. At the same time, if you had made errors earlier in similar questions, it may pose the same question again in another practice session on the same topic. We can also create our own questions. So when it comes to interview, actually around the globe, we will only find solutions where people provide a question bank, right? These are the important questions to prepare for an interview. So they actually have you understand the answers and what kind of questions will come, but they don't actually give you a real-time practice. So here we have a virtual trainer asking you the question, and you can actually create your own questions. For example, I've already created one question, right? I can go ahead and edit it. Say for example, I've created a question in algorithms, what is time complexity, and I've given my own answer that I want to practice, I want to learn and practice, right? So now I can create my own question bank and go ahead and do a Smart Learn adaptive session from my own question bank about the questions that I have. So it makes it really engaging, and you are actually learning over there rather than just reading. So I read, I understood, and because I haven't practiced, I may not perform well in an interview. But this kind of practice will really help the student do better and fare well in an interview. Another beautiful feature that we have is interviews. So you can actually plan mock interviews, and an interviewer or an admin can actually generate sample interviews, or real interviews can also be conducted in a virtual mode. So for example, I have created one interview here, and you can actually give interview a name and description, and we can configure. I've configured multiple questions. The questions can be actually used from the global question bank that we have. You can create your own question bank and add some questions to your own question bank. So here you can pick where you want to pick the question from, right? You can filter by activities and so on, right? So you create multiple questions, and then you can actually assign them. So you can create a candidate pool. Multiple candidate pools can be connected. In this case, I have created a test pool, and this pool has only one member, right? And I have tried to attempt this interview, and I can actually go ahead and see the performance of the person who took the interview, and see how many questions they attempted, what response they got, and we can see the look at their answer.
Myself, Dr. Bindiyan, professor at Vishnu.
Right. So very poor recording for this attempt, and I can grade it if I want to as an interviewer, and give a feedback for this as well based upon the rubrics, right? So it's a very interesting feature. Any company, any college, they can actually use it to train their internal team, or conduct mock interviews, or even conduct interviews for very large audience in automated manner, and then get the analysis and filter them out, and actually plan for actual interviews, reducing the cost that they incur in the entire process significantly. For course creators and mentors, ACSESS provides wonderful opportunities to visualize students' performance and help them out. If I go to a course as a mentor, I can actually create student groups and go to and visualize the student groups that are already created. So one student can be part of multiple groups. On the outset, I can see the overall stats and see the performance breakup of the entire group on an average. So that's a very wonderful visualization overall. We can see the analysis chart of how different people in different departments are actually performing. So I can see like a lot of mechanical engineering students are doing it, and very few civil engineering people are doing, and like IT few students are doing. So you can see individual student performance and a number of attempts that they have done over here. Apart from that, I can actually go and visualize the individual performance of each student. So I can see the individual performances, as well as I can go and check their individual attempts. So you can see like how this student has actually improved as he is doing. There is an upward trend in his performance. So the platform has already helped him to improve over time. So we can see his monthly and weekly attempt frequencies, the performance on a weekly and monthly basis. We can see the different performance measures, what and how he is doing over there, right? So if we go to an individual activity, we can see his attempt. So we can listen to what he said over here.
Since he travels a lot, he is going to collect something useful like pens.
Alright, so he is able to read it, but we can see that he didn't pause after a comma, and the system has actually caught that. Okay, so we can also give a learner-mentor private discussion. Over here, n number of mentors who are on this course can actually discuss privately with this person. So if I leave a message, any other mentor can also see that, okay, some other mentor have given this feedback and how the student has taken that. Apart from that, I can send a direct private message which is between me and the student itself, and this will go to the messaging. You can also export the student data, or I can go back to the dashboard, or I can close this and move on to analyze any other student. So as an organization admin, I can actually see all the people how they are doing. For example, I can see who is a mentor, who is not a mentor, and if I want to see how different mentors are doing, for example, I can go here and see the mentoring stats. I can see how many activities they are doing monthly and weekly, how many groups they have viewed, how many student dashboards they have viewed. So how the mentors are performing is all visible in a weekly and monthly summary. You can also see student wise and a group wise summary, like how much activity is doing in each group and for each student. This is a very wonderful visualization that really helps. And from here also an admin can actually view individual attempts and send messages to people as needed. On any screen, whenever you need help, you can actually go here, click on help and say guide me. This will actually give you a step-by-step guidance for that particular screen. Arrow keys also work, and escape, you can go back. Okay. At the same time, if you find an issue, you can report an issue from here, or if you have some questions, you can check out the FAQs. Still you want to contact us, please reach out to us by clicking on the contact us form and filling that form. Alright, and if you want to register your organization, there is a separate form for that, so click over here instead. Thank you. Communication skill training is often disconnected from the curriculum, and ACSESS offers a beautiful solution to integrate that in any course whatsoever, whether it's highly engaging and interactive way as well as AI based assessments. So that makes ACSESS really different with a lot of smart activities, and you can actually scale up skilling and learning outcomes. So we have been very successful, and many colleges, for example IIT Kharagpur, etc., are using it extensively. And we have several plans. As individuals and colleges, you can offer our content, enable the students to use that, create your own content, or even conduct interviews or do mock interview practice as well. So please reach out to us. You can contact us by filling this form, give us a testimonial if you like it, and we would be happy to work with anyone who wants to actually take this further. Thank you.